Is this on? Can you hear? Okay. I'm Michelle Marciniak, the new general manager for Arizona women's basketball. I played basketball at the University of Tennessee, won a national championship in 1996, played for Pat Summitt, was a starting point guard on that team. I am super excited to be here. My background also is not only that of an athlete, a coach, but also as an entrepreneur. I started a company called Sheeks, S-H-E-E-X. It's a performance fabric bedding company, sheets made out of athletic performance fabrics. And I've been the co-founder, co-CEO for about 17 years until taking this job with Coach Burke. So that's a little bit of my background.
Hard act to follow. I'm Ashley Odom. Everybody calls me Coach AC, so if you hear people refer to Coach AC, I'm who they're talking about. Originally from Texas, born and raised. I am the associate head coach here. Was previously at another institution in the Big 12 before here. Excited to be here with Coach Burke and the possibilities and what we're building here at Arizona. Played basketball at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. Had the privilege of playing for a guy named Larry Tidwell. He's a great guy in Texas. A lot of people know who he is. Just real privileged. Got the chance to start my career there and have been coaching in Texas ever since. But now in Tucson and really excited to be here.
Did you sell your company, or are you still working with that? That's the first question. And also, the role of general manager is a new one for this program.
Sure.
What does a GM do for a women's basketball program? So those two questions.
I'm still learning that.
First, with your company, are you still involved, or did you sell it?
Yeah, so I'm the leading shareholder on the board of Sheeks. I'm still involved on a more of an advisory basis as a board member. So no, we haven't sold. We're still actually doing really well. And I actually hope to bring an NIL deal with Sheeks with our players and our staff. So that's one of the things I'll definitely work on. In terms of the general manager role, I'm definitely a liaison between the women's basketball program and the athletic department. I handle all things NIL, rev share, definitely block and tackle for NIL opportunities for our players, but really just oversee the overall operations of the program. I'm a close confidant with Coach Burke and work with her really on strategy and if you call it roster management, staff, the mosaic of the staff and hiring of the staff. Before, as she brought me on, it was the first thing we had to do was bring a staff in. But also scheduling and really just the financial and operational aspects of the program. And so I like to say that, I'm here to bring the mix of what I've done as obviously an athlete and as a coach, but also as an entrepreneur, and bring my business acumen into the program and to help, with all the experiences that I've had to help navigate this crazy world of collegiate athletics right now.
Michelle, what do you think about the House settlement and just where that comes in terms of paying athletes directly from the U of A, and what is your role within that aspect of it as well? Yeah,
I mean, it's a complicated aspect of what's going on in today's world in collegiate athletics, but I'm glad the House settlement happened. It took maybe a little bit longer than we all had hoped, but my role with the rev share aspect is and NIL is really just to be there to support our players. I'll work with ASE. I'll work with our team, our development team as well, and really just as I said, to handle more of the financial aspects of the business. Of the program, and I hope that answered a little bit of what you were asking.
You come in with Big 12 experience. How important do you think that is in your role here?
I think it's really important just to be able to have a familiarity with the league, different teams, coaches, styles of play, as well as there are some new faces, but more so like conveying to our athletes what it takes to play at this level, to play in this league, and how hard you have to bring it and be consistent on a daily basis in order to be good. And I think really excited about our girls and the opportunity that we have to do that.
Michelle, what do you take from Pat Summitt, if anything?
I mean, Pat was a force of a woman. She taught me so much about life in general, but just taught me how to take my competitive spirit and, win championships, compete for championships, and just be at have that championship mindset. I was a pretty good high school player, but as we like to say, when you come out of high school, you are a superstar. When you play for a program like Tennessee and Pat Summitt, you become a champion. And there's a big difference between going from superstar to champion. And there's a maturity that you have to have. There's an understanding that there is a process that goes into the work ethic and everything that you have to do in order to check all the boxes in order to be a championship player in the championship program. And so, I keep saying the word champion, but that's what I learned from Pat Summitt.
Perhaps you have a career highlight yet to come, but is there one you're most proud of so far?
I mean, I think the obvious one is winning a national championship at Tennessee and playing for Pat. Pat was a tough coach, so enduring her, it was not easy. So that was probably a highlight is to actually get through having played for her. But I think more importantly, it was losing the national championship. And that's going to sound strange, but when I was a junior, I lost the national championship. And having that opportunity to go back and not only, play for another championship, but finish my career with a national championship is probably definitely the highlight of my basketball career.
Unimportant for my story, but just curious, did you play with Adia Barnes in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
very good.
I did play with Adia.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know her well, or?
I do. Yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah.
What's the change like, Arizona from Buffalo?
It's very hot, trying to still adapt to the weather, make sure I put a lot of, sunscreen on, and I'm still getting burnt regardless, so. But I'm loving it so far. I'm loving the people of Tucson. I'm happy to be here. It's very exciting, and we've been working hard already, so the future is very bright.
Julie, I think the last time I talked to you, you're still with Mercury, and you didn't know if you wanted to do college again. Why was college a good place now?
Yeah, I think it was just the timing worked out for my family and being back here at the University of Arizona. I always kept my house down here, so very easy transition for me. So like I said, right time, right place. The stars just aligned, so I'm happy to be back.
Julie, what is it you mentioned, touched on a little bit, but just being back at, in Tucson, a place you grew up, being back at your alma mater, just all the things. Has it sunk in that you're kind of back here and in the grind yet?
No, not really. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible to be back at the University of Arizona. This place is so special to me, just playing here from 98 to 2003. And then, this university, gave me so much, and now I get to pour it back into this program. And then also it's personal for me, right, with my grandfather being here and the legacy he built for the men's team. So yeah, it's one of those things, like just being back here on campus and, seeing the Luton Bobby Olson Court, or walking down the corridor and seeing my grandparents and the statue out front. So there's just many memories here. So, just being back here, it's about pride, it's about family, and, carrying on the legacy.
Favorite memory?
Like with my grandfather?
With him, or just in general with the U of A and...
I think it's just growing up here in McHale Center. We would go to all of my grandfather's games, and then I always thought when I was younger I was going to play for his team. So I didn't think it was, I didn't think it was an option. I'd be playing with him and not on the women's side. So, but yeah, so many memories. I mean, I can't pinpoint one. Like, obviously, there's been great memories with me playing here as well, with Coach Bonvincini and my teammates, and I'm still in touch with them every single day. So, yeah, just so thankful and grateful to be back here.
Elimination, you must be Jenna.
Hello.
What was that inaugural season like at Embry-Riddle with Coach Burke?
It was something really special to be a part of, which doesn't happen a lot in women's basketball. I'm sitting next to founders of the WNBA and those that really laid a foundation, and it's something special to be a part of the first group. So that's what drew me to first go to Embry-Riddle and be a part of the inaugural season along with Coach Becky Burke. I mean, she was as special then as she is now. And it was all about laying the foundation and being the first to lay a culture. And that was our entire focus, was laying a foundation and building a culture.
It's like you went a different direction, but reconnected now. How did you reconnect? How did that story come about?
Yes, so I've kept in touch with her throughout the years. Just there's a special bond between a player and coach, and she has a lot to do for the women that I am now. And so kept in touch on the recruiting trail, talked about basketball, talked about life every so often. And then as changes happen in the coaching profession, as I'm looking to what my next year looks like, reconnecting with her, and it was a phone call conversation, and just crazy how the star aligns. If you would have told me maybe 3 months ago, this is exactly where I'd be sitting with Coach Burke, I don't know if I would say that I believed it.
Played for her, describe her as a coach.
Energetic. Our three things were energy every day. It didn't matter how many layups you blew. It did matter. She'll say it didn't, but it did matter to an extent. But it goes back to laying the culture of how you do things. And it was energetic. It was how you do one thing's how you do everything. It mattered how we went to class. It mattered how we showed up in the dining hall. It mattered how we showed up on the court. And it was really just bringing energy and representing women's basketball to a high standard.
Fellow Jenna here. Good name. Yes, good name. You mentioned, her as a coach. Now that you're on the other side and coaching with her, what has that experience been like? And is she similar to how she was, when you were together at Embry-Riddle?
Yeah, a tiger never really changes their stripes, and she said it in her press conference here. She's always coached the same, and she is who she is. She's coached at a Power 4 level before she was even at the Power 4 level, and it's been nice to see. As a player, I didn't have the coach's eye that I had. So going back to it, it feels very familiar. Like, oh yeah, the first drill they did with our guard breakdown was what we started practice with every single day, with closeouts, full court closeouts. And it's been great to see why we did things, and then being a part of the conversation to pick her brain even more and seeing the success that goes into the game planning of a coach.
Can you please recount the story of you recruited Becky when you were at South Carolina, and you were telling me you got her, but there was a change? How did it just take me back to recruiting her?
Yeah, sure. So Becky was the Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year, and I was the recruiting coordinator at South Carolina a while ago now. I don't even know how many years. But she was a great player, and she was my prize recruit. And so I worked for 3 years to sign Becky. And then there was a change. Dawn Staley's staff came in and took over at South Carolina. Susan, who was the head coach, and I started our company, Sheiks, at that time. So Becky could either stay at South Carolina, and that was her choice, or I had introduced her to Jeff Walls at Louisville, and got her onto her career there with Jeff. And so stayed in touch, here and there, but honestly, we went our separate ways, and then reconnected with her. Ended up in Niagara Falls last year, or this past year, on January 1st, and watched her team play. She had me come into the locker room and speak to her team, and it was a really cool reunion, but I hadn't seen her since South Carolina. And so we just kept in touch from that point forward. And, I just told her, just keep winning. I said, you're going to have upward mobility opportunities. Keep winning. If I can do anything to help you. And she called me and said, hey, Coach, I just been hired as the new head coach at the University of Arizona. And I'd like for you to come with me. And I said, doing what? And so we just talked about it. And I said, you know what? If it's anything, it'd have to be like the cross section between, basketball and being an entrepreneur and business. I said, so a general manager's position makes the most sense. And in today's environment, with these players are professional athletes. I mean, now they are getting paid through rev share. And it is consistent and it is legitimate. And so having somebody in place that alleviates what a coach can only do so much. I mean, we have a whole staff up here to pick up a lot of pieces. But, Becky can only do so much. And so my job is to alleviate really the off-the-court stuff and the strategy stuff that and how it all comes together in order to, build a championship program. It wasn't hard for me to say yes to her. And I said yes because I know who she is and I know that she wants to win a national championship. I recruited that kid out of South Carolina. I recruited her in college or out of high school. And, so I know what her goals are in life, and especially as a basketball coach. And I think she's really special. I think she's going to do amazing things here at Arizona.
Ashley, you coached with Krista for a long time. What did you learn from her, and what is that transition like now being with, a new head coach?
Krista was great just in terms of watching me grow, both on and off the court. So many life things happened, got married, I have a daughter, and just for me to be able to learn so many things in terms of basketball, just life. I think the biggest thing was being able to see her be a mom and be a coach, because there's so many people who have different opinions on that, and if it's possible, and I got to live it and see her through it, and see how successful her kids are now, and that's something that I want to emulate. It's something that she has a big heart with her players as well, and that's something that I want to bring for my players. So that's probably what I learned the most from her through my time.
A lot of new faces, obviously, and the coaching staff and the players. And why should fans, for anyone, be excited about this group when they're not too familiar yet?
They're going to bring an energy that people haven't seen, and they're going to play with a lot of heart. They're going to play with passion, and they're going to play together. The chemistry is going to be there through the roof. It's going to be exciting. I mean, you're just not going to see one person up clapping. You're going to see the whole team up clapping. Video guys, too, And so everybody is going to be involved, and this is going to be one big family, in Tucson here.
And I would add, I think it starts up top. I think everybody has seen Coach Burke and been around her and got to experience just the passion that she brings, and it just trickled down to all of us. And we have fun in practice. We have fun being around each other. We have fun being around our players, and I think that will exude itself on the court.
For any of you, Montea's a returner. How has she been as far as helping everyone? Because she's kind of quiet. How's she been as far as helping everyone get acclimated?
She's not kind of quiet. She's really quiet.
I would say I think the first part has been us just showing that we have a genuine, want to build a genuine relationship with her, and her knowing that we care about her as a player, and on the court and off the court. And so she's getting to know us. It's building a relationship just like anything else. But the thing that I think she brings more than anything is a familiarity of Arizona, the fans, just all the things that she can tell us about. I mean, the other day she was telling me about some taco food truck. So she has more insight than I think people think to ask. She's a quiet soul, but she has a lot of knowledge to give.
Are you able to say how she's doing physically?
I mean, we've talked to she's working hard every day. There's things she can do and can't do, obviously, but she's on track from what Bart's saying, our athletic trainer. So he's very positive in the direction she's moving, but she's putting in a lot of hard work, before and after practice, just that rehab for getting her back on the court. And I think she's excited. I think she likes what she sees in the energy and how hard the team's working. So I think she wants to get back on the court, and she's kind of itching to get back with the team.
Ready for the beginning of the season, or is that too tough to say right now?
I think that's just too tough to say right now. There's a lot of steps she's got to cross before that can happen.
Mentally, I mean, any of you dealt with injuries like she has 2 in a year and had to come back? What is it? Can you give insight into that, where she might be mentally?
I've dealt with it with players and personally. I didn't have 2 in a year, but I've torn my ACL twice. So just to be able to have conversations with her about what that was like for me and just the emotional roller coaster that you do go on. But it's nice to have people who have experienced these things, have seen success, both, again, in players that I've coached and with myself as well. And so I think that gives some motivation for her, and again, just knowing that we care for her. So.
Your vision for the future of Arizona women basketball program?
Win.
Explain more.
I think the vision goes to a lot of what Coach Burke has said into the community as well, is we want it to be a collaborative approach within the community, not just see us on the basketball court putting up and working hard, but getting out in the community, giving back on this great platform that we have and this great community. There's a lot of opportunities to be seen and to be out mentoring young girls. We have community service later this week. And then also to just have everybody take some sort of ownership into Arizona, hence why we have alumni back, building those type of relationships and just being able to know who Arizona women's basketball is about, and we are about doing things the right way.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, coaches.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.